the record as well. If anyone wants to come up and chat, what I'm going to do here is this is going to be more of a chill space, but I am going to give a little bit of an update because, as you guys have probably seen this morning, that there is an ORB mechanic and there is an NFT, an omnipotent reserve bond that is built in now to both Torus and Unity, which means you will be able to move your creations and stakes and even see them on NFT platforms as orbs. And we're going to have some pretty badass art. It's going to come up and videos that are going to be similar to what you saw if you have seen the Torus post this morning with the dragon and the orb. I think there's a lot of really cool stuff there. It's new branding away from NFTs, and who knows what can come there or come with all that. So this morning, if you want to follow along, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going into the Torus app, and I'll just be explaining what everything is. So if you do want to follow along, do that. If you want to just listen, feel free to just listen along. And everything that I'm saying for Torus is also applicable to Unity as well. And if you're not aware, Unity is within its 3-day launch window, meaning Unity can launch at any time. And that will be posted only on the cryptographics account that you're seeing here on the speaker panel, as well as at unity.win on X here as well. So be on the lookout for that. Now, let's go into the dApp, and I will explain exactly what's going on and what you need to know to utilize this feature and what it is. So when you come into the dApp, it's going to look exactly the same. And this is by design. We wanted this update for Torus and for Unity to have everything built in-house. You don't have to go to a different site. You don't have to do anything really different except for click one different button. So if you're in unity.win/earn or torus.win/earn, you are going to be able to, when you click the create button or stake button, you're going to be able to choose from the classic creation or the what's called wrapped creation or an orb. And we're going to have a little bit of different wording that is going to clarify a little bit better than what you see on this pop-up. But essentially, these two options are going to allow you to choose the classic creation or stake, which means that you cannot move the stake or creation from wallet to wallet. It is fixed to that wallet specifically. You can't create an NFT or the orb and list it on OpenSea or do anything with it. It is locked specifically to that wallet. And you can choose to do this. And additionally, you can also choose to create a orb creation or a wrapped creation, you can refer to it as, which will allow you to mint an orb NFT to move your stake or creation from wallet to wallet. You can think of this, if you're familiar with Hedron and Icosa, then you can think of this quite simply as similar to like an HSI, right? The hex staking instance allowed you to move your hex stake from wallet to wallet and also interact with the dApps. And there's all sorts of functionality that it brought in. So this is the exact same thing that we get to see now with Torus and with Unity. So this is huge because this unlocks a ton of functionality in terms of potential as well as flexibility. Because now, for numerous reasons, you can move your stakes or creation. So a few reasons why you might want to do this. One, if you want to gift a creation or stake to somebody, or let's say you have a friend or family member that you want to set them up with a creation or stake, you can do all the legwork for them and you can simply just send them the creation or stake after it's all done. That's a very easy way to help onboard people, get people all up into Torus and Unity. And secondarily, you can also use this as a way to protect yourself in security. So a few ways that you can do this. One is if you notice something fishy with your wallet, you could simply just send your orb NFT over to a fresh wallet and you would be free from worry from any sort of hack. Now, additionally, let's say you wanted to be preemptive instead of be reactive. What you could actually do, or proactive instead of reactive, what you could actually do is you can use a wallet that you have as your transactional wallet, right, that interacts with all of your dApps. And this can be the one that creates the stake or the creation and mints the orb and sends the orb, the orb NFT, over to your wallet that does not interact with any dApps, meaning that wallet is extremely secure because it hasn't interacted with any links. It hasn't had any permissions given to anything. And this is a fantastic way to protect yourself as well, where you have like a hot wallet which has one set of seed phrases with, like maybe it's like a Rabby or a Phantom or a MetaMask or some other wallet. And you then use this hot wallet as an interface for your hardware wallet which has a different set of seed phrases and has different security, which you then send that orb over to the cold wallet, which is much more secure and doesn't interact with anything there. And this is a fantastic way to protect yourself. And now Torus and Unity allow you to utilize that level of security to protect yourself from scammers and hackers as well, which I think is just a fantastic addition. Now, the third layer to this is pretty special because this is where we start to unlock the potential of orbs and the NFT world. So in Unity and in Torus, you'll be able to, because we are talking about NFTs, these NFTs can be listed on any NFT marketplace. This alone creates an OTC environment where if you, for whatever reason, wanted to wait until your creation or stake is done at the end of the creation or stake window, you'll have 14 days to list your creation or stake to sell OTC without ever having slippage. And you can list this for the exact price, a little bit of a discount, whatever you want. And you could essentially have an OTC trade using your orb on OpenSea or any other NFT platform that you like. Additionally, this also opens up some interesting game theory where now people can essentially arbitrage potential value and all sorts of interesting things. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into it because there's a lot of risk involved when making these kind of plays here. So I'll let people discover that on their own. But this is one of the aspects of it that really opens up a huge potential. Now, the final piece to this is what it opens up in terms of building potential. Once you have these orbs or these NFTs that are capable of being utilized, a dApp can be used or created that allows these orbs to be what is submitted to interact with the protocol. Now, that alone unlocks a ton of potential, and we can see so many different types of dApps and protocols built on both Torus and Unity. So, all of this added together, orbs are going to change the game for Torus and Unity and add flexibility, functionality, and an incredibly bright potential future that, like I've alluded to before, is a foundational layer that needs to be in place for something much, much, much bigger that is coming down the pipeline for both Torus and Unity. I want to be clear on that, for both Torus and Unity. And Unity will have the orb functionality whenever it launches. That will be built in, ready to go. So the moment that Unity goes live, that you'll be able to create your orb NFT and do whatever you're looking to do with it. So that being said, that is the update for this morning. And now I would like to invite anyone that wants to come up and hang out with me and just ask questions about these orbs, ask questions about Torus, about Unity, and whatever else is on your mind this morning. It is a recorded space, but I want it to be a little bit more of a chill space. The first 15 minutes or so is more like a informative podcast, but now we'll start inviting people because I'd love to have you guys all come up and chat, because there's lots to talk about here with all of this. Lots of potential, lots of new things to get used to. And yeah, I'll just pause there and I'll just start doing some inviting. And yeah, I would love to have you guys come up. Give me just one moment while I invite literally everyone. Who we got coming up here? We got Tyndall. Let's see. We got Rich Landon. Right on, right on. Hey, Tyndall. Good morning, man.
Hey, good morning, Cryptographics. I've been seeing you doing the rounds, and I know that the drop is coming extremely soon. So, congrats, and I think everyone's kind of just waiting for it. Like you got the excitement up, and people are stoked. I could see in your Telegram. I could see right here. So you're moving, and it's good.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. I'm also very excited to to see this thing out. It's fun when everyone else is excited too. Um, I'm I'm really curious to see, how quickly, because the Telegram has grown in the last 2 days by like 100, 2, 3 days by like 100 people. So I don't know. I have a really good feeling about what Unity is going to bring for PulseChain. So, are you planning to get in day one? Or are you gonna be watching on the sidelines, or what are you thinking for Unity?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what the flow is going to be as far as purchasing. Like, I haven't looked into anything as far as that's concerned, but as soon as I see you drop like a CA or something, if it is even is a CA, then I was going to put like just a small allocation to start and then DCA through so everything's comfortable.
Cool. Yeah. Well, let me actually explain how that's going to work. So when Unity goes live, there's going to be a couple like internal phases. Now, when it goes live initially, there is going to be no LP pool created until 2 billion PulseX are available to pair with 20,000 Unity in that LP. Now, when that happens, then you'll be able to buy on the market. But prior to that, now I don't know if it's going to take 20 minutes or 5 hours or how long that's going to take. I suspect it won't take very long, given just listening to conversations that are seeing conversations and people's commentary. We'll see, obviously, but when Unity goes live, you are likely to get the best share amount, or the number of shares, which is your earning capacity in the system, by going into the only mechanic that will be online, so to speak, called creation. Now, if you want to do a more flexible approach, staking gives you the option to early end that stake between 50 to 100% and get your principal back plus a little bit of earn tokens. Creation locks you in for the entire period. Now, you do get like, it's like a mint and auto stake. So when you create with PLS or PLSX, you're guaranteed to get a certain amount at the end of that creation period and earn on top of it, kind of like a stake as well, but you cannot end early. So I just to make sure that you're fully up to speed on that, yeah, you'll have two options. One will come later. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, dude, let me know if you have anything else you want to chat about. Like I can talk about the functionality. We can ask any questions, and I'm more than happy to answer whatever you're
Okay, one question. What project do you think this is the most similar to?
this, I love and I hate this question. Um, it's as similar to Bitcoin as it is to Hex as it is to TitanX. It's like,
Hmm.
yeah, it is unique, which is why it's hard to really say it's got one thing that it's like. Um, Now, the reason I'm also saying this is because and those of you that are in the telegrams, either the Torus or the Unity telegrams, you've seen this firsthand. But every person that's come in, and because I've referenced, it's similar to Hex in this respect, or it's similar to Titan X in this respect, or similar to BTC in this respect. And so people will run with that and say, "Oh, it's just like BTC," or "Oh, it's," well, especially when people think it's like Titan X or even Hex. People will say, "Oh, it's just like Titan X. Oh, it's going to be blah 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 blah," and they have a notion of like, "Oh, it's going to do this or that," and they have a negative sentiment towards it. And 100%, and also I should say before I say the next comment is, people will say the same thing with Hex and be like, well, if it's just like Hex, why do we need another Hex? And then what always happens at 100% of the time is their intuitive, or their intuitive reaction is always wrong. They think, oh, okay, well, it's going to be like Hex, so then it's just going to do this. And I have to educate and say, well, no, it's not. It's actually quite different. It's the opposite. Um, and so there's almost like de-education or uneducation that needs to happen in order for people to really understand the system. So I would love to say a simple answer like just this, but both Taurus and Unity are genuinely unique. So yeah, hopefully, yeah, hopefully that's a sufficient answer for you.
Yeah, and guys, anybody who's listening to graphics right now, I posted the thing at the top, so I pinned it, so check it out for sure.
Sick. I don't know how you did that because I don't even know how to do that. So thank you. I need to get better at spaces. Oh, that's funny. Rich, what's up, buddy? Good to see you up here again, man. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
So, so graphics, is your goal, like your heart behind the project, to like help people and to get people not like rich where they can get in trouble, but rich where like they can feel free with their time? Like, what is your heart behind the project?
Yeah, thanks for this. This is a cool question. I love talking about this. So I guess it comes down to Torus and Unity are tools for whatever wealth means to each individual person. I'm not one to want to decide like when someone should cut anything off, when someone should do X, Y, or Z. But they're designed to be tools to facilitate change on a personal level, on an individual level, and then let that trickle out to begin to affect others. Like the saying I've been using is, um, I want the people to become the whales and the whales to be late, and then those that get in early can utilize what they've created to bring a positive impact into the world. And each person's going to have a different um, idea of what wealth is, of what they need. And for myself, and we all might have something different, and maybe that changes over time too. So the biggest goal, I mean, if you look at the branding and the names, there's a lot of like oneness and community and connection, and lifting of awareness and consciousness that really goes into this project as a whole, right? And even Unity in itself is not designed to just be a one-stop shop and compete with everything on PulseChain. And Torus isn't really competing with everything on TitanX. What these projects are designed to do is be something that is so powerful that it lifts everything else that it's attached to. And so for Unity, it's designed to drive demand into Pulse and PulseX, which obviously lifts the value of PulseX while burning it and ultimately brings up Unity. But because you're pushing up Pulse, you're pushing up and elevating everything on PulseChain. And the same goes for Torus. So it's this, there's this ethos of like elevation, of lifting, of Unity built into both of these. And it's embedded into the DNA, embedded into the numerology, embedded into the branding. And I mean, it's going to be cool to see how this evolves, because as we all know, when you have a vision for something, it tends to change over time. And so I think just planting this type of seed, it's going to be really fun to see how it evolves and to see how this kind of impregnates what the future might hold.
Yeah, there's definitely something to the words that you use, and they're in a way mimetic or memeable. However, you're using them for their real, like unity really means to unite. So, in a way, it should do that.
I'm really hoping so. I mean, I've done my best to keep them. They're really talking about the same thing. Even the logos are really memeable, because the logos are the same concept viewed from different angles. If you look at a magnetic field from the top down, meaning you're looking through the vortice at the middle of the magnetic field, you're going to be looking at the Torus logo. If you look at that same structure, but from the side, you're looking at the Unity logo. And so really there's so much, like you're saying, unity from all angles here, that I think, the memeability is, or the narrative should be quite easy to kind of, build off of. And well, especially honestly, I'm just really looking forward to it, because I feel like there's a different energy that has been in the Telegram groups, in the interactions that I've been having. And it's been really refreshing. A lot of really, really great people are showing up, have a lot of really cool ideas, are not just here for a quick buck. And even if that's the case too, like, that's also cool. Everyone needs different things. But, you know, just in terms of people that I personally tend to resonate with and really connect with is that type of people. And so I'm seeing that more and more, which is fantastic.
Hey, Steve.
What's up, Rich?
I just had a question about the orbs. So obviously, you might recall a conversation we had weeks ago about the utility and the portability, and you said, just wait, it's coming. So was literally in the process of trying to build something out to be able to use Torus as a utility token. Anyway, so I kind of see that gap bridged with this orb. Can you help me understand that a little bit more, or maybe, I guess polish that up a little bit?
Yeah. So let me ask you, like, where do you want me to go with this for the explanation? Like, in terms of what kind of utility it could have, or yeah, can you clarify a little bit more, just so I know exactly?
Yeah. Okay. I felt like since I took my own capital and invested in Taurus, and when I receive the tokens at some point, I want to use a portion of those for utility for a meme token I have as a small burn, just a static burn, just rather than it sit with no organic bias over time, just a little small trickle of my own, something I created on my own. So instead of me just taking my Taurus and dumping on the market, I would see a buy and burn as a slow sell. So is that looked at as a negative or what?
I don't know. I mean, everyone's free to do what they want with their funds. My like, when it comes to small pools aren't going to do a whole lot in terms of being a weight in either direction when the price is going up or down. You know, I would encourage, if people are wanting to do, you know, like farms or some kind of pool that's going to incentivize people to really go heavy in with funds, I would be supportive only of the main pools, because, you know, this system really has its highest potency for both Unity and PulseX and Torus and TitanX. They really are powerful when they're stacked vertically, and they'll be powerful when they're horizontally stacked or horizontally integrated with different pools at or near a top when we need more liquidity. But for now, just simply, yeah, if you're thinking of just like having a small pool, that's not going to do any harm. You know, it's really when there's major amounts of tokens being paired. And the thing too is, really every token that doesn't go into the protocol to stake is actually opening up the pool for everybody else to continue to earn for both Unity and Torus. So you're also doing a service to everyone else by doing that. So it's completely up to you.
Yeah, so just to be clear, what I would be doing is receiving the Taurus. I would already have an LP with my other token, and it would be on a measured out basis, a buy and burn. You know how you've seen how they operate, so it'd be a lot less impactful to the market price on that type of exit, as opposed to me just receiving and selling half and doing whatever.
Right. Yeah. It's absolutely a way to go.
So back to the orb question, how do you see me being able to utilize that new functionality you have and maybe not build out what I was doing? I guess we'd need to talk offline about this probably.
Yeah, I would have to know what the intention is specifically, because, you know, there's so much that can be done and we can go kind of any which way with this. But if you outlined like what your exact intention was to be, or your goal, then we can come up with a myriad of solutions and ideas. And there's, like, yeah, with these orbs, there's a ton of functionality, but those orbs are something that you do have to, you wouldn't really be able to use. The main functionality would be for an entry into a protocol. And that would be basically something that the contract would have to claim when that time comes, or there's like a separate decentralized contract that when there is something claimable, someone can claim it for like a partial reward from that, or something like that. But which could then be deposited in an LP. I don't know. There's a few different ways you could do that. You could actually have it where someone submits a Torus orb or a Unity orb, and at the end it's claimed, they get a little reward. And as soon as it is claimed, then you could use some of the Torus to maybe buy up Smoke or whatever token and put that in LP together, almost like a buy and build. Something like that could be done.
Yeah, that's exactly sort of the point. Yeah, we could flesh this out later. I don't want to take up all the time with that.
No problem. I love this stuff, but yeah, I don't know if everyone else is excited about listening to tokenomic and game theory discussion. Maybe maybe we could do a space like that too, because I would love to have an open forum where people that actually want to build.
If we show people use cases for this token, it will create a demand to keep getting it.
Oh, exactly. Exactly. Well, and like I've said, I've already posted build on Torus. And so
yeah,
maybe something coming in the pipeline that is possibly going to start quite the how do I word it? Quite the process, quite the maybe
trend.
frenzy.
The
trend there. Thank you. Jeez, man, words. Oh, but yeah, I love it. So we gotta talk in another space, or maybe we talk offline as well, or I guess off space.
Yeah,
it's a cool idea, man.
Let's give others a chance to chime in, but we can cover this later.
Yeah, would love to. Let me just quickly shout out. I see a man that I've seen for the last number of years, since the days of Hedron and Icosa, and my man, I would love to have you come up and chat with you about Unity and Torus, because you and I both were deep into Hedron and Icosa back in the day, and we both did so much work, and you made a fantastic site. What was it called again? It was oh man, it's eluding me. But I remember that site. It was super powerful. So, and I feel like every time I call him out, he leaves. Oh, it's just funny. Maybe he goes.
Dude, Hedron Icosa days. I hope he comes up too, man.
Man, yeah, he's a legend. That's one smart dude, or one smart duck. I'm not sure which one he is yet, but would love to have him up as well. What's up, Cash? Good to see you up here, man.
Hey, hello guys. I'm looking forward to Unity, as you all do, certainly. I wanted to ask. I had this question for some time. If I have the possibility to earn on Torus tokens instead of selling it, like, I don't know what it is, farms or LPs. I think LP. I think Rich just talked a bit about it, but I think there is something in the pipeline, and of course, I would prefer to not sell the token. It's just a thought. If there will be a possibility, I think that would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. And real quick, I'm just going to mute because I think Rich, also, you have a hot mic, by the way. But there's so Eric with Titan Farms and DragonX, he's already announced that Torus will be in the second generation of farms. There's nothing been announced for Unity, obviously, because it hasn't even launched yet. And we do want to take the same approach that that I'm taking with Torus, which is to allow things to mature. You don't want to get in there too quickly, especially, let's say, if the ratio of PulseX to Pulse rises significantly. Then what happens is people that provide liquidity are just exit liquidity for those that are creating, and I don't want that. I would prefer to have a farm come out when we are around that kind of median point systemically. So, but I would love to see that, for Torus farms. I'm already in talks with Ouroboros as well for Torus specifically, possibly Unity, but that's more of an uncertainty, more of an idea, and much bigger maybe. But there will be other games in the future possibly as well. And it depends on what people want to do, what other farms pop up. But yeah, I definitely want to see other opportunities, especially for the reasoning of after the first 88 days, when supply really begins to come out, or up to and after, then the amount of ROI available for everyone is going to get squeezed quite a bit, because the more tokens come out, those tokens have a specific number of shares that they're worth in the system, and the more shares in the system, the harder it is to earn, right? So as these cycles finish, or as time goes on and we get to beyond day 176 into day 250, 260, the ROIs will begin to lower and lower, possibly even closer to the first year, to a point where now it really makes sense to focus on building out these other games where, yeah, you can liquidity provide, and that's 100% in the pipeline. That's part of the vision of really building out and having an ecosystem for both Torus and for Unity that allows people to take advantage of many different opportunities that suits them best given any market conditions, right? Different arbitrage plays, different liquidity plays, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, a little bit of a long-winded answer, but there's a lot to it.
I know it's great. Let's chill, and I'm sure Torus will have more opportunities for us than now, and Unity also. I'm looking forward to it. And I don't even know how farms work on TitanX, so I should take time and study that first.
As always, it's 100%. Anytime you're going to put your funds somewhere, know who built it, know how secure it is, understand the tokenomics, please, before you put your money anywhere. As it goes for Torus and Unity as well, for everyone listening. But yeah, definitely study up before tossing your funds in.
Oh, yeah, studying and trying out, like gathering experience, and that's what's reminding me of LPX, what I tried, and my experience. I'm sorry, it's my car. My experience was positive. So if there is like a possibility, I think there will be, because LPX. Do you know LPX?
Yeah, I'm familiar.
That cool protocol. Yeah, so I think that's working, and it's secure. Just saying.
Yeah, because that's the way to do it, is to test things out. And if you're testing things out, just make it small, right? And even if you're testing out too, I would even suggest making a separate wallet, having funds go over to that. If you have your main wallet, create a new wallet, fresh wallet, send funds over, play in that wallet. That way, if you get it wrong, that your main funds are not compromised in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, definitely agree with that. Lots of potential stuff on PulseChain. We'll see. I think the PulseChain community has I'm waiting to see what gets built on top of Unity, because Unity is prime real estate, and there's so much potential, just like with Torus, that and the PulseChain community is also so creative and has built so much fantastic stuff that I'm really interested to see when people start getting their hands into and their fingers dug into Unity specifically. I think there's going to be some people that are going to have a lot of fun with this. So I really can't wait. Let's see who else is in the chat here that I can invite up. Or unless, hey, if you guys want to chat about anything specifically, if you guys have any questions about the orbs for both Torus or Unity, please. Mike is your guys's, or your guys. Yours. The mic is yours. Talking is hard sometimes. I see there's a couple. I got a request here. I got Talon. Sweet. Okay, right on. Yeah. I also, hold on. I just muted the space. Whoops. Wait for Talon to get up here.
Hey, what's up?
Yo, Talon. Good to see you, man. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you, man?
Oh, man. I'm hanging in there and doing great at the same time.
Hey, so I kind of got in late just as you were kind of talking.
Shit, my bad. I meant to click the mute button for me, and I clicked the mute space button. So you're muted right now. Please. Sorry, bro.
All good. So you were talking about, I kind of got in late when you were talking about getting in early. So what do you mean? Like, we want to wait till Unity gets established before we start getting in, or can you expand on that a little bit for me?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can participate in Unity immediately, but you won't be able to buy the token or stake immediately. So what that means is, until a certain amount of PulseX comes into the system, the liquidity pool that will have PulseX and Unity will not have been created, meaning you can't buy Unity, therefore you can't also stake Unity. So the only action that you can do prior to that happening, which there's no guarantee it's going to happen in minute one or hour one, but you'll be able to come in the system or come to unity.win/earn, and you'll be able to submit Pulse or PulseX and create, which is essentially like you're like doing a mint and auto stake kind of thing, which means you're going to be guaranteed to get a certain number of tokens at the end of that creation, and you're going to earn like a stake that whole time as well. That's the only action that's going to be available initially. And then once the LP, the liquidity pool is then created, then if you wanted to, you could go and do some stakes or just buy and hold, whatever you wanted to do. Because, staking does have the ability to early end stake at the 50% mark, or between 50% and 100%, but creation, you're locked until up to 88 days. So does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that. Yeah, because I'm not overly concerned about buying in right away, but the creation process is kind of what I'm getting in for in that 88-day stake type thing. So I got into Torus with that, and I like how it's operating. Potentially looking at staking some of the created tokens that I'm earning, and just having almost like a nest egg type scenario there.
Yeah, that's definitely a very viable strategy. I've seen a lot of people talking about that, and it's been powerful for many. So right on, man. Yeah, appreciate you being here, and glad to have you for both Torus and Unity.
Yeah, appreciate you guys doing your thing and creating the project. I'm looking forward to seeing how it progresses.
Cheers, man. Thank you. Crypto. Let's see here. I think it was Crypto 911. I see you up here with your hand, man. Go for it. Thanks for coming in. Good morning. Is he silent for just me, or is anyone else hearing him?
Am I good? Am I good now?
There you go. Yeah, you're good now, my man.
Okay, that was my hearing aid disrupting my communication. So I was saying earlier, the time frame here, it's not morning actually, it's late in the evening out here. Either ways, it's nice connecting with you guys. And thank you for handing me the mic to say something on your space. So I wanted to make inquiries about Unity's plan on sustainability and utility behind it. Also, I'm very much interested in this Torus itself. So I entered this space late. So you guys must have spoken about Torus itself, but I'd like to be filled in on this token. I'd like to be filled in on this token itself. I don't know if you guys can do me the favor of giving me the information or knowledge to have about this token. So, peradventure, if I decide to invest or interact with the token, I will actually have full knowledge of the token, like detailed information about these tokens, these wonderful tokens created by wonderful founders. You know, right? It's cool interacting with wonderful projects as well. So that's it, man. That's it. And I go by the name Crypto 911. Y'all should remember that. Thank you. So I'd like to hear from you now.
Yeah. So first thing I'm going to say as a precursor here is that there is a lot under the surface to both Torus and Unity. So you will need to take some time for yourself. I will not be able to explain to you in just a single space, really the depth of what these protocols bring to the table. You're kind of combining multiple economic systems into one. And so just as a precursor, it's not difficult to use, of course. Unity and Torus are designed to be extremely sophisticated under the hood, but literally have a gas and a brake and a steering wheel. That's it, right? It's you don't have to understand the engine to operate the dApp, right? You just need 2 feet and a heartbeat, essentially. But when it comes to, I guess, Unity in a nutshell, you can think of it as a next generation final form of BTC, where it has the long-term scarcity of BTC, but it combines 2 mechanics that both earn the daily rewards. They both fight for the same rewards, not for different rewards. They fight for the same rewards over time. And the more tokens you earn in the system, the more shares and the more capacity you have to earn more tokens in the system. Now, all the while, when you are participating in Unity specifically, what you're doing is you are driving demand into PulseX, lifting the PulseX price, and you're also burning PulseX as well. So you're creating demand and supply reduction into PulseX, which is also going to increase the value of Unity And simultaneously, Unity is built to deflate its own supply, meaning it has a buy and burn. It also builds its own liquidity naturally as well. So Unity is designed to put scarcity and demand into PulseX, which pushes PulseX higher. And because Unity is attached via liquidity to PulseX, it also drives up the value of Unity and its system, further bringing in more Pulse and PulseX, which further burns and drives. It's like this perpetual crazy feedback loop that you get, which is really designed to lift everything on PulseChain specifically. And there's nothing else like it that's ever been built before. The only thing like Unity is Torus, and that's it. They're both the first of their kinds on Ethereum and PulseChain ever.
That's a very, very, like, how do I put it? I'm mesmerized by the utility behind Unity, to be honest with you. In a layman word, Unity's utility is more or less a pendulum bulb in PulseChain's ecosystem itself, meaning it creates demand and also diminishes the total supply of Pulse X itself. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a wonderful model. That's a wonderful model. A big shout out to the founder, a big shout out to the bright mind, a big shout out to the complete team that built this token. I've never seen something like this before. I've never seen something like this before. The fact that you guys are even building something to rival BTC, the world best token, as we all know, as not as how do I even want to put it? I'm so amazed. I'm so amazed. I'm even short of words at the moment. Honestly, the fact that you guys are building something to rival BTC at the moment is a very fantastic innovation. You guys keep building. You guys keep building. We'll support as much as we can. Good job. Good job, man. Good job. So how about Torus itself? Because I just knew a bit. Perhaps I just knew the engine and not the technology of Unity. So how about Torus itself?
Sorry, I didn't actually catch the last part of that, of what you were saying there. It was a little hard to understand you.
Okay, I said, how about Torus itself? Like, I just caught on the engine of Unity and not the tech. So how about Torus itself?
Ah, got you. Okay. So everything that I said for Torus is exactly applicable except for the ecosystem that Torus is built on. Torus is built over on Ethereum, and Torus is also built on top of a token and a very special ecosystem called TitanX, which is taking the L2 model, or the sub ecosystem model, and flipping it on its head, leveraging Ethereum, but kind of making it so it's an ecosystem that doesn't have a bridge, so to speak. It's like an L2 without a bridge. And this token is going to have the same effects for it with Torus that Unity has for PulseX, meaning Torus is going to drive demand into this TitanX token, which is hyper deflationary by nature as well. It gets extremely difficult to create over time, meaning there is only so much that can ever be created. And so you get this same perpetual loop of, the longer time goes on in Torus, the more this TitanX token is required to participate from any angle in the system. And the more that happens, the more TitanX gets burned, the more TitanX gets bought. And we get that same feedback loop where it's just the more demand, the more burning that Torus does, the higher the price of TitanX goes, which the higher that brings the value up of the Torus system, which then requires or brings in more demand, which starts to burn more of the TitanX tokens, and so on. Exact same model, different ecosystem, and PulseChain and TitanX both have different futures that they're going to have. I don't know what that's going to be, but it's really going to be really cool, because even though these systems are identical in terms of their structure systemically, because they're built on two different chains and two different deflationary tokens with two different communities, they're both going to perform, I think, at least vastly different. And that's one of the things I'm really looking forward to seeing between the two, and how chains can really, in community, can really change how these systems operate and evolve over time.
Yeah, I deliberately asked about Torus because if you say they have the same model, I know they can't be 100% the same. Something has to be distinct between them, which is what you just said. And there was a point you mentioned you don't know what it's going to be. Are you trying to keep me and the rest of the interested community member at suspense?
I mean, a little always. You kind of got to do that, you know. But it's more just it's
I
more
see
just
what
the
you
truth.
did there. I see what you did there. It's nice. It's nice. You have the mic. I'll mute while you speak.
Yeah, it's you got to keep people in suspense a little bit. You can't give everyone everything. You know how it is. Marketing, it's a powerful thing. Mystery is powerful for marketing, and also too, there's truth in it too. It's legitimately like, I know what these things are designed to do. I know what they have the potential to do. I know how powerful they're going to be, but what that actually means in reality is something untangible and something we can't measure. So that's the part where I'm really excited to see what that means on each blockchain with each community on each token separately.
That's good. That's good. I must say, you guys are really trying. You guys are really trying. You guys are doing well. Like great. You guys are doing great, man. And it's a wonderful token. It's a wonderful pair of token you guys brought on space to speak about today. I really love them. Hopefully, when they are up for interaction, I'll be able to interact with them. Yeah, that's it. That's what I have to say. It's nice exchanging words with you, Taurus. And this is Crypto 911. I want you guys to remember that name. I want it cemented in your head. This is Crypto 911 from a different time zone. Okay, peace. I'll do well to listen while the rest of you speak.
That means while we're sleeping, you could be working. So I like it, 911.
Yeah, cheers, man.
Exactly. Let me tell you something funny about this relationship. Tyndale actually left me to handle his project marketing. While he was off, I did a couple of tasks and I just dumped them in his DM. I know. Either ways, you wake up and meet those texts and respond to them. So while he's sleeping, I'm working. While I'm working, he's sleeping. I
Yeah,
mean, while I'm sleeping, he's working. So it's a two-way dimension that is balanced. The dimension is divided into two, but they are balanced. Two dimensions that are equally balanced. I mean, so it's that kind of thing.
My friend. Yeah, that is fantastic. I am going to pause you though, because I do want to make sure that we get to other people here, and I do appreciate you coming by. Yeah, I'm really glad that you and Tyndall are a fantastic team, and you have that balance there. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your questions, and yeah, thanks for coming up and hanging out with me. I see Scoopa and Andy here as well. I think Scoopa, you had your mic open for a moment. If you want to start, go for it, man. Good to have you. Thank you for being here.
yeah. Hello,
Hello.
can you hear me? Hello.
Hello. Yes, we can hear you.
Hey, yeah. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Okay, I'm by name Scooper Great. So, and thank you so much for the wonderful session. Yeah, Torus and Tinder. Yeah, I do really appreciate it. Yeah, I just have a question, and my question go to both Unity and Tinder. So, and I will go like this. Yeah, my first question is, how does the token ensure security and scalability in the sense of security, like, and the scalability? What is the potential for growth? And number two question is, are there any notable partnership, like who are those you are partner with? So that's just it.
So I actually just answered this question verbatim. So I'm not going to answer it again. You're more than welcome to, re-listen to this space to get that answer. But I literally just answered that verbatim. So thank you for the question. But yeah, I did just answer it. Firestarter or Andy? Actually, let me go to Andy. Andy, how you doing, man? Good to have you up here.
Good, man. Super pumped. But my question was, what are HSI is called? I forgot the name.
They're called orbs.
Orbs. Yeah. So the orbs, you can't use them for already. Correct.
Sorry, you for Torus, you'll be able to use them now. So, well, the thing with these orbs is they're wrapped creations and stakes, which means that in order to be able to utilize them, you have to create or stake now. Previous creations or stakes don't have the capacity to utilize this functionality, so it's just for new creations and stakes.
Got it. And then how would the unwrapping process work?
We made it as simple as possible. All you're going to do is just claim. And when you claim, if you can claim, that means the NFT is in your wallet, the orb is in your wallet, and then it just burns the orb when you claim and you get your tokens. Or you can choose to unmint. Yeah, you can choose to unmint if you want to do something else with it. But if you don't unmint, then you can just claim and it'll burn it automatically.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Yep, no problem, man. Firestarter, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Hey, good evening, good morning. Listen, first of all, congratulations. Like, I'm really loving the project and I've been catching up all the videos the last weeks. And one thing that popped up, I want to ask you, there was a wallet that staked for like 20 days and he then compounded, you said, like in the video that specifically you mentioned, he did a good job because he sold and then he 5x'd his bags of Torus. My question with that is like, wouldn't it have just been better for him to have done an 88-day stake? Because it seems if he would have staked longer from the beginning, it would have been better than to do a shorter stake and then to try and compound that. If that question makes sense.
100% it does. Yeah, this is important to clarify because there's a very specific reason why staking at that moment would have performed far less or far less adequately. So
my apologies to interrupt. Sorry, no, I meant not staking. My apologies. Creating. He didn't stake. So what he did, he created a creation for 3 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, when I was saying staking, I'm saying there's a reason he didn't stake and he did create. Now, this is specifically because when first of all, we have to know for Torus, and Unity will have this same thing. It'll have a different ratio, but there's a median point in its ratio to, in this case, TitanX, and for Unity, it will be with PulseX, where if the price of Unity is very high against PulseX, right, then the creation ROI goes much higher than the staking ROI. Now, the reason for this is because you are essentially minting and auto staking tokens that you're creating, which means there's a fixed price in the system, right? And in Unity, it's 100,000 to 1. So if the ratio of PulseX to Unity goes up to 400,000 to 1, that means that when you're putting in $1,000 in PulseX, you're going to be creating, or minting and auto staking, creating 4 times more value up front because the Torus or the Unity you're creating are worth 4 times more than they should be. So what that means is if you are able to sell Unity or Torus at a point that's higher than that middle point, you are going to be able to take, let's say, $4,000 or $1,000, right? And sell that back into the token that you're going to deposit. And you're going to get 4 times more than you could on the market by buying. Is that making sense?
Yeah, it makes all sense. And that's actually what I calculated and where I look back. And if you look back at it, like he actually is short 400 Torus tokens because what he did, right, on day 23, he finished his creation and then he staked for 88 days. So in total, he created for 125 days. So where I'm going at with it is it looked like he did a good move. But if you look at the proper calculation, he would have been much better off making an 80-day creation and then adding the 50 days at the end. I hope this all makes sense what I'm trying to say.
Yep, absolutely it does. And you're hitting on the risks of these plays too. Like when people are doing these short-term plays, it's fantastic to see them doing it. And that's one way of winning in the system. is playing these games. But you're right. When you scale things out over time, they may have gotten a 5x or a 6x or an 8x, overall by doing these moves. But people that are going up for 88 days are so far ahead of that, and we're not even halfway through their creations, that you're going to struggle to keep up unless you're getting crazy price appreciation on Unity or Torus that you're able to capture. You're going to struggle to keep up. So you're hitting on something really important, which is, yes, the person that went short and then compounded, that's the mechanically, they did exactly what the system is designed to allow you to do when prices go high. And you're also bang on that because they went short and then long, they're actually still behind, which is crazy.
Correct. Yes, that's what I was trying to point out. So for everybody thinking to do a short stake and then doing a long one afterwards, your exposure is better to have the long one and more share rates in the beginning, it seems like it, than doing the opposite, which I thought was an interesting mechanism.
Yeah, you're nailing it. Well, and the reason for this too is a lot to do with, if you look at the system over time in terms of where the most shares are going to be, right? Supply coming out equals shares that are then able to come into the system, right? More tokens coming out equals more tokens that can be staked, which means more dilution in the pool. So when you're in the system, when is the time where there's the least number of tokens possible to be in the system? Between days 1 and 88. Therefore, that means that your highest earning capacity is going to be between days 1 and 88. And if you are going short and then long, yes, you maybe done like a 3 or 4x or something like that, and you compounded. But now in the second 88-day cycle, where now you actually have your max earning capacity, and you actually had your minimum earning capacity when you're going short, you've had your minimum earning capacity when you should have had the highest potential. But now as you go past day 88, as people are going to come out and start staking, now those tokens are likely to dilute you even further, meaning if you staked for 80 days after day 28 or 30 or whatever, you're actually going to have 30 some odd days of extreme dilution and only 50 days of like decent earning capacity in that, which is really important to understand, which you're hitting on. I appreciate you bringing this up.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting and good for people to understand it, because with Unity launching, there might be people that think, oh, we're going to do a short play and then restake, but you need to do proper calculations.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. And this is the cool thing about the fact that we're going to have, I think, a few different dashboards that are going to come up for Unity as well. I'm aware that there's one gentleman in our Telegram for Torus that's already made one quite quickly for Torus. I expect at least 1 or 2 to be made probably for Unity as well. And people can see this in real time. But, like you're bringing up, it's important before you start making decisions to understand the impact that, short versus long versus medium can really have long term, especially because there are only so many potential windows in these systems that will allow you to gain the maximum amount of tokens and shares and earning capacity, because they're all synonymous with one another in the system. And if you miss an opportunity, that does set you up in the future for a more difficult time to continue to grow in the system. So again, yeah, I really appreciate you bringing that up. This is huge. And not everyone's necessarily going to understand this, but everyone should at least have the opportunity to understand and do some research on this as well.
Thank you. May I ask you one more thing? And obviously, it's completely up to you. But when, for example, Dragon X launched, I think months ago, maybe a year ago, we were all waiting in the Telegram group for a notification like, hey, we're live. And I just want to share what happened with me so people are mindful. I got added, I have no idea how, to a Telegram group and clicked the link and got scammed for quite some money. So I do not know if the Telegram group is going to be shut down eventually, or disabling of sending messages, or just people be mindful. I just want to share that because it's painful.
Yeah, I definitely don't want it to happen. So what I did with Torus is I shut down the Telegram group for a little while, and I think it was maybe an hour or something like that. It's a balance, because I didn't want people to be not able to ask questions if there's something going wrong. So it's a bit of a balance there, but that'll be shut down temporarily to stop flooding and everything. And also, this is the big thing. There are 3 main outlets for the announcement, because everything is going to be announced on X via the cryptographics account that's here up on the speaker. panel. So make sure you're following that. Make sure you have your notifications on, because that's official account number 1. Official account number 2 is at unity.win, all spelled out. Unity, DOTWIN. That's the second account. And the third one is the Telegram. That is t.me/unitywin. Those are the only 3 official accounts. And what I would say is, do not click any links from one account alone. Cross-reference. Make sure both accounts say the same link and the same contract address when Unity goes live. So that's the plan I have right now for mitigating all this, to make sure it's as seamless as possible.
Thank you very much. And I wish all of you all the best of luck and crypto gains in this project. So thank you.
Yeah, let's go. Thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate you. And the questions were awesome. Crypto 911, you got another one, man? Go for it.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say, but as I was listening, I caught on where you mentioned trying to shut down your chat room so you can ensure the safety of your community members. How well have you guys been working on keeping the chat room safe, as to having someone look over the chat room for you? Do you even have that in place? If you do, I guess the person wasn't cross-checking. It wasn't really based to ensure the community's safety. If that actually happened, leading to the loss of some tokens interacting with the project.
Yeah, we're more than covered. That's all I can say. We have many people that are going to be ready to rock when this thing goes live. So I'm not even remotely concerned. We've got more than enough firepower there and mitigation processes in place. But I do appreciate the question, so people should know that, yeah, we're more than prepared. We learned a lot from Torus, and Torus went incredibly smooth. I haven't heard of one person from Torus that had a bad experience and had someone that had a negative thing, and a scammer get a hold of them, or anything. So we'll be using the exact same formula for Unity.
All right, that's good. If that works well with your community and with your strategic model, all good then. All good. I wish you success on this project.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate that. I've got nothing else unless you guys do. I'm very curious to hear any more questions, any more commentary, any more conversations. I do want to wrap this up at the latest in about, let's say, 20 minutes. But also, I'm also cool with wrapping it up now or sooner if no one else has anything they want to toss out there or have a chat about. But yeah, I'll leave the mic open for a moment here. And please, guys, anything that you have, let's discuss.
Okay. Okay, left to me. I actually had a great time listening to your project. I had a great time. So that's it. That's what I have to say. Wrapping things up on my ends here. Seems Kesh wants to say something too.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to thank Firestarter. I don't think he's here. I think he's out already. Yeah, he had some pretty smart thought. He is a smart guy, I wanted to point out. And I wanted to say that beware of scammers, because I'm getting invited to some groups all the time. So stay careful, guys.
Okay, my piece of advice to you is, if the link isn't from someone you know, someone you really know in this space, please do not click the link. My accounts have been attacked severally in terms of DMs, seeing strange links, instead of having my tweets quoted with strange links attached to it. Please, 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 I'm begging you, for the safety of your account and your reputation on Twitter, do not click strange links if it's not from someone you know, someone you've been interacting with for months. Please do not click it. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's why we're operating on that level. If you guys are not following both Unity and cryptographics, the accounts, you need to follow both, because cross-referencing is the way to go forward, where you have 2 accounts that are both legitimate, and you can see that if for whatever reason you click on one that's the wrong one, that they will mismatch, and therefore, yeah, you're able to mitigate that. So yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up, man. Thank you. I am feeling as though, I mean, if anyone else has any other things they want to bring up, go for it. But if not, I think this is about time. I want to wind things down and start getting on with some other stuff throughout my day here. I've got a lot on my plate, as you can imagine. So yeah, I'll leave the mic open for a second, and then we'll probably shut this down.
All right. You did great. Having two-factor authentication of two accounts or more for them to cross-check. You guys are doing great.
Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that. All right. Well, thanks everyone for being here. This has been a cool space. It's cool to see so many of you come up and hang out, and that's always fantastic. It's much more fun to hang out and chat with friends than to just be here alone. So yeah, thank you everyone. I'm going to wrap this one up. Enjoy your Monday evening, Monday afternoon, Monday morning, wherever you are. And I will see you all very soon in the next one later. And welcome to the age of Torus on Ethereum. Oh, and welcome to the age of Unity on PulseChain. Thanks, everyone.
Okay. I'll do else hang out with you guys some other day or some other time from my time zone. Good day.